we're still the same things, then we need to think, okay, can we do some things to, help with that? What can we do? All right. So, if you won the lottery, would you first spend money on a dream car or a dream vacation?
That's kind of hard because mm,
By the way, Quincy says he can speak a little bit of Japanese. Japanese.
oh, okay. Maybe I would have to learn Japanese to understand you.
Well, the problem with Japanese is even if you can speak it, then the language like Japanese, Chinese, and Korean have these little characters as opposed to letters. So it's really
Oh
hard.
yeah, I know that. It's just gonna be like,
It's not
what?
it's not a regular alphabet, in other words,
It's not. I know.
All right, so if you won lottery, Quincy came on. If you won lottery, would you spend your money first on a car or on a vacation?
If I
Quincy
had the
says,
choice to choose neither, I would because we've been planning out if my mom won the lottery, we would first make tons and tons and tons of food for the people who don't have homes, don't have food, don't
there
have
you
enough
go.
clothes.
Yep.
And then once we have enough money, like even more money, when my mom still works more, we can build a building for those people and then have them stay
Hmm.
there until they are ready to move and fend for themselves. But if I
Yep.
don't have an option to like choose neither, then I'm gonna have to choose dream vacation because my mom has said also when we live after we do all that and stuff, we could go on a dream vacation. So
Yeah. So where would you want to go?
Hawaii,
Hawaii. Okay. What about you
Hawaii.
guys? Where would you want to go if you could? Quincy, where would you want to
Oh, but my
go?
dream car is a rainbow Lamborghini though.
Yeah, and then
It's
Quincy, tell me
pretty.
what your dream car is too. I'm kind of curious to see what y'all would like. So, Aaliyah,
Yeah, I'm gonna go on mute real quick because like I'm still doing my Duolingo thing while we're doing this.
Aaliyah, I will tell you that I agree with your way of thinking on that too, in the sense
Yeah, it
that
just
that's not well,
hard to
one,
see
I don't
how
buy
many
lottery
people don't
tickets
have
anyway.
phones, how many people don't have
Yeah,
how many people don't have enough food.
right. Yeah,
It
yeah.
makes me
So
sad.
I completely agree with what you're saying. One is I would want to make sure that you know, okay, so he's got I don't know what a GTR is, Subaru Dino or Hellcat. So there you go. Um, what I would say is that one, I don't buy lottery tickets to begin with. Two, if I did win, somebody gave me a ticket and I won, I would be giving a lot, to my church and things like that, and missionaries and things of that nature. Um, what? Okay. Mr. Madavi got your message. Said cool, Aaliyah. Um, and then Aaliyah, I think one thing that with what you were saying too is I really like that what you and your mom were saying too is for people that don't have housing and stuff like that is, you know, providing. I think one of the cool things I see in Greenville, I don't know, because I think you live in Columbia, right?
Yeah.
Uh, is in Greenville they've started having some good programs where people who don't have housing or maybe they've come off drugs or things like that, right? And they can,
Yeah, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure
yeah,
people are healthy, happy, and
yeah.
make
Well,
sure they're like,
yeah, well, they got programs where it's like, okay, we're gonna have this housing, but you got to quit drugs, right? Like that kind of thing. And then once they do that, then they'll help them get their get a job, right? And then there's like a next step of housing, right? To where eventually they'll be ready to, pay for their own housing and things like that, right? Just kind of like stepping out on your own a little bit. And so I think the things like that where we can help people where they are, but then also help them get where they can, you know, eventually provide for themselves too, And I think those are good. And I like your goal and the way I think y'all clearly have talked through that really well. So I think that's really good. All right, so let's get on to a few of these things here. So we've done this one before, but I like this that we're going to go back through this part here. So we're talking about study strategies. Okay. So a plan of action developed in order to achieve academic goals. All right. So study strategies matter because they provide specific examples of what works best for you in studying, enables others to help you meet your academic goals, and try different strategies to meet your academic needs. So, kind of funny one that I saw the other day was Chloe was working on her health class, and she took one of those Ed Venom quizzes and hadn't looked over the slides and stuff, and it didn't go so well, right? And then she went back over it and looked back over it and paid attention to it, and she did a lot better. So in that case, it was really that okay, I got to know that if what I did before was not successful, don't keep doing the same thing you were doing because it didn't work the first time, right? So again, visual, auditory,
Miss Coleman
reading and
went over
writing.
this on Monday, and she said there are multiple. We can have multiple ways to learn. And you
That's
know
right.
what surprised me?
What was that?
I'm all for those.
Yeah. Well, I think
All
that
for.
look that's why what's really hard for me with teaching you math is parts like kinesthetics. But that's why when you know how like last week I was talking to you about how it would be good if you had some things where you could like take them and actually touch them and put them in groups, right? Is that I was trying to give you the idea of what it was like to make yourself some kinesthetics, right? So kinesthetic, I think this is about to go through each one of them. So visual learning is color coding information and facts. So if you think about like in math now, I think since we've done a lot of this stuff this year, I can give you an example. You know how when I was trying to show you like terms that you can combine, I was really emphasizing let's circle the ones in the same color, right? That belong together. So that's using the visual, right? Um, so color coding information or facts, watching videos to help explain concepts. So that would be like a social studies or something like that. Or how I like to provide you with extra videos that you can look at and to see somebody do something,
No, that
right?
is very helpful.
Yeah. So that's where you see how like what I want you to think about now that we've done a lot of the year is to see what different teachers have been doing to try to help you with that and what we've suggested that did help or things that you're like, I didn't do too well with that. Maybe I could have done that instead. Right. And that's why when Ms. Simpson asked the teachers what if we wanted to do this stuff, go through this again, I said yes, because I think it's very good to kind of see that. Um, See, organizing your thoughts. So like if you're writing something out, having a way that you're kind of organizing or outlining. Um, let's see, auditory. Okay, so this is listening. Audio versions of books and articles. Um, I think that one can. I don't know if y'all on the classes where you have Ed Minims, do you ever like listen to the thing while it reads the slides? You ever do that, Aaliyah?
Yeah.
So I that's what I actually on the one that I got for career clusters. Are you in that one? I think you are, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
That's the reason I made the little Ed puzzle thing where you had to listen to it is because
Yeah, I love that. Like I was sitting there, not reading, but like listening to it and just enjoying it because all I had to
yeah,
do was sit
well,
back and just listen.
right. Well, it's like I think it's real tempting on some of those just to skip through the modules and not read them. And so I was like, you know what? If somebody lies to me and said that they paid attention and they didn't, that's their own fault, right? Like, but
Yeah.
at the very least, I'm like, if I set it up that way, then you can see, okay, that's actually pretty useful. That wasn't bad. So the idea being that if you see, okay, that's pretty good, then even if I don't make you do it one unit, then you're like, I'm gonna listen to that anyway, right? Um, so let's see, discuss ideas with others. So like talking out what you're learning and things like that, it can be useful. Um, Creating little rhymes or things to talk through rules, kind of like how we have PEMDAS and order of operations. And that little song, Aaliyah, you remember the little song we had on the order of operations? Did you watch that video?
Yeah.
That was goofy. I love that video, right? But
I almost laughed the entire time.
yeah, it's hilarious. And so I think that one's really good because it helps you, you can, because it's so goofy, it's like you're gonna remember those, and then you gotta just remember, okay, parentheses and exponents, multiply or divide, add, subtract. It's easy as that, right? And so now it's like
Yeah.
you know that video.
Super goofy.
I didn't even watch it. I haven't seen that video in
El
years, but I still,
come manzanas.
yeah. So I still remember that now. Um, okay, reading and writing
Él
learners.
come
Hey,
manzanas.
start with the Spanish. Okay, no más español. No más español. All right. So for reading and writing, make lists of facts, ideas, and concepts. So this is where I'm trying to get y'all to learn to take notes during classes, right? About the key ideas that we're learning, which is why I go back and forth depending on the lesson between doing Nearpods and then turning in notes. So that's a reason that I do that during class, is not just to be mean or something, but because that's going to help you learn it better. So that's a part of the reason I do it that way. And then kinesthetic, um, Aaliyah, I think you're pretty good with this one, where if you got to get up, move around for a second, a lot of times, and then come back. And then
Yeah, you know what? So you see that? Here, I'll give you the link. I'll give you the link to what I use every day to help me like focus and then know when to take a break. Hold on.
okay,
Pull it up.
so and two, like fidget items, I think it's kind of funny.
All right, there's the link.
Okay. Let's see.
And then
Oh,
after the 25 minutes, it'll switch to something that says short break, which has 5 minutes on it, where you could take a break, just be you, and then go back to 25 minutes.
okay.
And after 1 hour, it's 1.6 hours, which is all 25 minutes. You get a 30-minute long break.
Gotcha. So that way you're like, okay, I'm not going to go on anything else until this particular time. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think that's the thing too, Aaliyah, is that we're hoping that at this point in the year, it's like, okay, starting to learn some things that work for me, right? And then some things that don't work. And then, okay, if this works, I'm gonna keep doing it. If this doesn't work, I'm gonna do something else, right?
Yeah.
And then again, there's no right or wrong way to learn, and then figure out what works for you and try it out. And so then, if you're like, yeah, I tried that, that didn't work, right? I got really distracted. Well, then do something different, right? And just like I was telling, so I listen to a lot of instrumental music while I work. Well, I think it's a good idea, and so I tell my kids they can do that too, right? But the the other day, Chloe was. This is not bad. This is just a kind of a way you kind of think through this. She was listening to instrumental hymns like we would sing at church, but she knows the words to those songs. So instead of reading, she was going to be singing the hymns in her head. So then she was distracted.
I am a man in Spanish.
So then basically the idea there was, okay, you don't want to listen to instrumentals that actually have words but that are not playing if you know the words, because then you're not going to be paying that much attention. Um, and then basically figure out different tips and strategies that work for you, right? Certainly that's where you kind of go to the teachers and like, yeah, I'm trying this and this doesn't work. Can I try something else? um, and then kind of talk through your learning style with parents and teachers, and that way we can help you figure out what's best for you. Okay, and then this one, I've looked at this one before with people sometimes. So there's I think this one right here goes with. No, they didn't post it here. So there's all these different learning style assessments where you can like look through what your best learning style is, and then use that information to help you figure out what you need to do to help yourself learn better, basically. All right, so that is that for our homeroom here. So I will see you guys later.